It's Friday now. This is the second time starting this tape. Because I started before, it wasn't bad, but I started over and I didn't like it. And I wanted to do that. I don't know. So I'm going to try again. Anyway, I'll tell you what today is. I'll give you the settings. I feel like I'm repeating. I mean, I am repeating myself. Today is Friday, January 19th. It's Friday morning. And I guess it's about, let me see. Yeah, it's about 10:30. I'm sitting on the radio, so I have company while I talk. It's about 10:30, and I'm going to Television Shabbos, but I don't have to go yet. If I leave now, I'll get there by 11 or 11:30, and I don't know. I feel like no. Anyway, I decided I better make this tape before he killed me, because I sent him a letter yesterday. I guess you got it. And in it, I told you that I had so much to tell you, but I'm going to save it for tape. So he's probably ready to kill me, so I decided I better make the tape already. So maybe on the way to Toby's I can mail it if I finish it. Let me see. So it's Friday morning. I'm a little bit mad because I don't know. Friday's the only day around here that you get to sleep late. We have class every other day of the week, and Friday morning is like after 12 hours on Thursday. You just want to I don't want to sleep real late. I have things to do, but I don't want to have to know that I have to get up at a certain time to be getting up. And Friday is when we get checked by Mrs. Cooperman, and she comes and checks the door. And you never know when she's coming, and she starts at 9, so you always have to be ready at 9. And there's 37 apartments, so chances are she's not going to come to you first. But of course, both times that our apartment counted on her not coming to us first. She came to us first. She's really mad, and she said she's going to keep coming to us first until we know we're ready. On time. I don't know. It's just so dumb. So, I went to bed late last night because we had to clean up the place for her. And now I'm kind of tired. I had such a crazy week. Wait till you hear my week. That's what I'm going to tell you about on the tape. But before I tell you that, let me see. There was some other stuff I wanted to tell you. Oh, I got all of your tapes. In other words, I got the one from California, and I got the one that you sent me right around New Year's. That was a nice one. I got it just a few days ago, day before yesterday, I think. And, yeah, that was a nice one. What did I want to tell you about it? Oh. In reference, R.E., all the things that you said, I'm lying down. That's right, it's down. I don't get to sleep when she comes, and one good thing about her coming at 9 o'clock is that she's gone by like 9:30, so then I can go back to sleep. Of course, I was all dressed and all packed. I was trying to get out of here before she came. But anyway, that's great. Oh, about the bills. First of all, yeah, I'll see what I can do. I don't know when I can promise that I'll get around to do it, because going to Tel Aviv, I don't have so much time to do that like I did last year. And I haven't been there. I don't know when the next time I'm going to be in Tel Aviv is. I'll try and go. Like, I don't have a day free to go, but I'll see. I'll try and go there for Shabbos or something, and then I'll look into it. And as far as setting the bells, I don't know. I don't think it could hurt. Maybe it's just because knowing Israelis, we're giving this hard time. How are they going to know I'm telling the truth? But I don't know. Yeah, I think you could send it or something if you want. And as far as Uncle Sidney goes, yeah, I'll try and, I think I told you all this, I'll try and get everything all lined up. I'll see what I can do. And I read this article in the paper where they're opening up a Kupat Cholim hotel. Kupat Cholim is, the medicine club, like medicine, I don't know, you belong to it, and then you go to free doctors, like group health or something. So it's socialized medicine in Israel. So there's a Kupat Cholim hotel right by Tiberias, the Springs. So if you belong to Kupat Cholim, it's something like $37 a day, which is $8.50 or something, or more. And then there's a bus to the Springs and everything. So it sounds nice, but I don't know exactly. I don't know any details. I don't know if it's for permanent residents. I don't even know if anybody would want to live in Bavaria. I don't think it's such a nice place to live. But anyway, I'll see. And what other things were there that I wanted to tell you? How's Henry? I hope the test was successful. Today I got a letter from you. I just got it. In which you tell me about that he's being moved to GW. I hope he's okay. I don't know. Anyway, send him my regards and all that. And Cecile also. And what else? I'm getting all the dirty work cleared up now. Let me think. Oh, the funniest thing. You say that you got the letter. The letter I sent to Brian. That is such a riot. I cannot believe it. I think I even told you. A few weeks ago, I just sat down one night. I was in the mood. I wrote Brian a 20-page letter. I wrote him a book. And I carried it around to you. I meant to mail. Finally, I thought, okay, I'm going to mail it. And I took it with me, and I lost it. It fell out of my book. It could be anywhere. I lost it from anywhere from here in Gaifagan to Katamon, which is the opposite end of the city. Anywhere in Lirshaline, in a million places it could have been. It could have been in the Ministry of the Interior. It could have been downtown. Anywhere. It could have been in any number of stores. In the school. In the chala. In the school I was teaching. I don't know. Anyway, I thought it was gone. You know, I figured, oh well. So I wrote some pages for nothing. Well, at least I got my thoughts organized. Anyway, I thought if someone found it, they wouldn't mail it to America because it's didn't have a stamp on it. I hadn't even bought a stamp yet, and it would take a lot more than one stamp. It would take maybe 3 stamps. So if someone was really nice and was going to spend 95 grosh on a stamp for me, that's mail it wasn't. But to spend 3 times 95 grosh, no, I didn't think anyone would be that nice. At best, I thought someone would pick it up and mail it back to me since I had my return address. But no one did, so I thought I was lost. No one even found it. If someone found it and had a good time reading it, I don't know. It's really nice. Did it have stamps on it? Maybe someone just stuck it in the mailbox. It was probably open because of the bomb scare. You know, they're opening a lot of mail. Like, all my packages that I've gotten had been opened and checked. I don't know, that's a different security. Oh, and about my packages, I'll explain that a little bit also. You see, what happened is, they're cracking down in Israel on the rights that they're giving, really, people, tourists like me, not, you know, Olim Chadashim, immigrants, get a tremendous amount of rights. They really do, especially if you're from America. You get so many rights, and it's nice because it encourages Aliyah. But on the other hand, it's not so nice for the other people in the country. You know, they sort of really, they're sometimes pretty, what's the word, resentful. I'm really forgetting my words, it's not funny. They're pretty resentful. Also, for Israel, I think, you know, they're giving away a lot of things free. So now they're sort of cutting down on all the rights. Not drastically, not completely, but they're making it before, whereas before it was pure heaven. Now they're making it so not everything is free. It's not so great. What it means is, like, there's 2 areas of rights, and one of them is mechas rights, which is the right in bringing things, you know, mailing rights. So, whereas when I was a student, I had more rights than when I was a tourist. Student has more rights. So there's different levels. A1, which is not quite new immigrants, but which is like the step right before becoming a new immigrant. A1 has all kinds of rights. You can mail anything to an A1. You can mail food, and you can mail cosmetics. I think you can even mail film, and A1 won't have to pay anything on it. They won't have to pay anything to mail electrical appliances. All this A1 I don't think has to pay, just like a new OLED. And student has a little bit less. You can mail cosmetics to students and a few other things, and they don't have to pay mechas. But food they have to pay, and not very much, but they have to pay. And film they have to pay. And the next level after student is tourist. And tourists used to be exactly the same as students. There used to be no difference. There used to be difference in other things which didn't affect me at all. But now there's a difference. Because there's a thing. They made a new law which is effective retroactively. That's another thing about this country. They start a law next week, which was effective a year ago, and then you have to pay up. It's really stupid. Anyway, it's effective. I just went into it. They just passed the law, but they made it effective from right around the time when I mailed my packages, or something. I don't know. Anyway, there's no way I could have known about it then, and I didn't, and it wasn't a law then. But now it's a law. So when my packages got to Israel, it was a law. So tourist doesn't get food for free, and it doesn't get cosmetics for free, and it doesn't get film for free. You have to pay mechas on all that stuff. So, when I got my packages, some of them I had no trouble with. Some of them were just clothes, but there was one or two boxes that had food and cosmetics, and I went to pick it up, so they said I have to pay £58. So I said, forget it, that's ridiculous. £58 is crazy. It's £58. That's a ton of money. That's $15. The stuff itself wasn't even worth $15 plus. Plus adding on the, I don't know how much, $12 something it costs to mail it. It's like I'd be paying 3 times as much for the stuff than it's worth. That's crazy. Of course, that's what they want to encourage. They want you to buy in Israel instead of sending it back. But, so I said, no, forget it. I'm not paying $58. I don't care if you send the package back. It's nothing I needed there so desperately. No, I'm not paying $58. Also, I was really mad at that because I couldn't get a straight answer to that. I kept saying, well, what's the difference between student and person? No one would tell me, and everyone was giving me a different story. So I decided to make an appeal. So I made an appeal, and because I had to wait till they had to reevaluate the stuff in the package, and I told them I wasn't prepared to pay £58. The stuff is not worth that much. I didn't know it wasn't fair. They told me in America that I didn't have to pay, which is true. And last year I didn't have to pay. And okay. So in the meantime, I went down again. I thought I'd try my luck. Maybe I'd get a nicer guy. I really thought that the first guy who said I had to pay £58, I thought he was making a mistake. So I went to another guy. And he looked at it and said, okay, here, you have to pay £11. So £11 is a lot different than £58. And I thought, oh, good. He said, you have to pay £11 for the food. So I said, fine. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't make a big fuss about £11. Better than £58. £11 I'll pay. So I was about to walk away, and he gave me the slip saying I could take the package and everything. And I said to him, by the way, what is the difference between a student and a tourist? Because I thought the other guy made a mistake. And now I want to know, what was the difference between a student and a tourist? Well, I learned my lesson. I'm going to keep my mouth shut from now on. I'm never going to say anything again. He looked at me and he said, what? Wait a minute. Are you a tourist? I thought you were a student. Come back here. And he made me give it back. And then he said, wait a minute. No, you have to pay £58. I was so mad. I had it in my hand. I was really mad. But it was such an innocent mistake to make because I didn't know that he made a mistake. I thought the first guy made a mistake. And I thought, now that I'm at the Mecha's office, I ought to find out once and for all what the difference is so I know what to do. Because it was almost time for me to renew my tourist. I didn't know if I wanted to move. Maybe I should change the suit. I didn't know. Anyway, so I was so mad. I was so mad. Oh, anyway, back to the appeal. So I made an appeal. I went to get the results of the appeal. They lowered it from £58 to £20. They said I had to pay. Fine, that's great. So I paid £20. And on another package I had to pay £30 because it had film in it. And there was no way I could get that lowered because that's out and out. It's black and white. I had film. I had film I had to pay for. Okay. So £50 I spent on Mechas, if it wasn't worth it, but I just was so aggravated racing running up and back. What it all boils down to is this. I can get in the mail anything except for food. Cosmetics I think I can get, but I don't need, so there's no reason for you to ever send me cosmetics. I think I can't get food, and I can't get film, and I can't get electrical appliances. But anything else I can get, namely old clothes. Material also, if you say it's old material or something. Just, don't say it's brand new and all this. Say, it's old used and all this. And I shouldn't have to pay anything at all. It should be no problem. So, that's the story with my Mecha. Anyway, everything's all straightened out now, and I have everything. And about my reason why, you're probably wondering, why are you saying tourist? Why don't you change to student? Well, I went to Mitzarat and I asked them. They told me like this: if I would be a student now, I would have those extra rights in Mecca. But what's going to happen is, when I do become an Olah, when I become an immigrant, and when I work, then under normal circumstances, I have 3 years that I don't have to pay income tax. Income tax is a lot in this country. I forgot how much it is, but it's really a lot. But when I'm an Olah, if I'm working, for 3 years I won't have to pay income tax. If I would be a student now, then every year that I'm a student, that's a year off my income tax. I'll have to pay income tax, at least partial income tax. I think even all of it. So it's worth it for me now. Just forego a few rights so I don't get food in the mail. or so I don't get film in the mail. But someday I'll be able to, I'll have that extra time with income tax. As it is, I already lose a year because last year I was a student. So that's where the advantage comes into being tourist now, and it doesn't affect me in any other thing at all. And I don't have to keep going down and renewing it because I renewed it once for a year. So, and after that year's up, I can renew it again for a year. So it's no problem. So now I'm all set, and everything's all set. So, okay. Yeah. I have a little bit of a cold, that's why, I don't know if my voice sounds funny. But you'll understand why in a second. I think I'll tell you now about my week. Just a second. I don't know, did you hear the news? I'm sure you must have, and I'm sure you probably spoke to Joy and everything. But this week it snowed in Liverpool. It was the first big snow. I think it was the first snow at all that they've had here, but it was really a lot of snow. It's more snow than I've seen in a long time, because last year it snowed twice, and one time it snowed like half an inch. That was like the big snow. But this time it really snowed. It snowed, it was gorgeous. It snowed about 5 or 6 inches at least. Depends where you were. But now let me tell you. First of all, the weather this year has been really crazy. They're really worried that they've had a lot of crop failures and stuff because it didn't rain. Now it's winter and it's supposed to be the rainy season and it hasn't rained. And it's been really cold and then it gets really warm and it's really bad weather for a crop. But what happened was this weekend it was raining. It rained. It was disgusting. It was terrible. It was raining all Shabbos and Saturday night. And then on Sunday, what happened Sunday? Saturday night I didn't get very much sleep. I couldn't fall asleep. I don't know. I was beat up or something. And I stayed up and I read a book all night. 5:30 I went to sleep and I had to get up at 8. So I had 2.5 hours sleep on Saturday night. Sunday, Joy was supposed to be going back to America. And poor Joy, she told me she was, all by herself. I told you, she was all by herself and she was sick. And I told her that I would go with her to the airport. Because, going back to America, and here she's going back for good, and it's such a... you don't want to go by yourself, and I wouldn't want to go by myself. I'd want someone to come with me. So I said I'd go with her to the airport. So she's leaving at an ungodly hour of 6 in the morning, and she had to be at the airport at 4:30 in the morning. So that would mean that, we'd leave Lirshalayim at 3:30 in the morning, Monday morning. And I said I'd go with her. I'd bring a blanket, she'd sleep in the airport or something. So, what I was planning on doing is, I had class on Sunday, and then afterwards I met Yaakov, and we went around. I thought we'd go around, then he would drop me off. Instead of dropping me off back here at my apartment here, Joy was staying this last night at her cousin's apartment in Kiryat Moshe, which is another part of the city. And that's where the cab was going to pick her up and take her to the airport. So he also would drop me off there, and it's not really out of his way. And then I would stay there and go to the airport. Then, 6 o'clock after Joy left on Monday, I'd take a bus back. There's a bus straight from Mud to Yerushalayim, and then I would be back in time for my class on Monday. And then the rest of the day I could sleep. So that's how I thought I'd do it. So Sunday, I don't know, it was raining again. I don't know, I was feeling kind of blue, and it was, I don't know, I was all tired. And class was really sickening class. I don't remember why. I forgot. I just didn't like, ugh. After class, I didn't feel like going with y'all, so I just wanted to go to sleep. And I was so tired, and I came back to my apartment was a mess, and my room was a mess. And I just took some blankets, I don't know, and Yelko was waiting for me. And so I got in the car with him, and he was all depressed too. Both of us were a good pair. So we decided that we were going to cheer each other up. And he took me out to dinner, he took me to the Stark. Finally, I went to the Stark, and I thought of you, Mom. And the whole way, and that's why I remembered it, because that's how I remembered it. You said we could go. And we finally found it. It was really nice. The food was delicious. I had stuffed cabbage and chicken I had, and cabbage, and potatoes, soup, you made me have soup. It was really soup weather. But it was very, very nice. So that was nice, and yeah, I felt better. Then we went to one of his lady friends' house. And we stayed and we listened to your tape, because he hadn't heard them yet. And then it got later than we didn't even know what it was like outside. When we came in, it had been raining and bluffing. Then we stayed there until pretty late, because he likes to stay there and watch television. And television goes off there like a little after 11, which was fine because Joey wasn't expecting me early. I was going to come late. I was going to stay up all night. Yeah, and I was falling off my feet. I was so tired. So he also dropped me off at Joy's cousin's. So we left him to go to Joy's cousin's apartment. Now, we walked out of his friend, and it was snowing out. It just begun to snow. And you don't take snow seriously. You know, no, so sometimes it does snow flurries here and there. It never snows. But it was crazy. It was really snowing. It was so funny. It was really exciting. So we got in the car, he drove me there. Now, her cousin's apartment, I couldn't find it. It wasn't on the street, it was off the street. That's another thing about this country. They have streets, and they have addresses, but they don't always match. I don't know. It's stupid. Anyway, so I couldn't find her apartment, and I was walking all over the street. So I finally found it. And I walked in, and it was about 12. He also left. And it was snowing out. And by that time, it was snowing pretty seriously. But not deep. It just was, hey, maybe it's not this word. Maybe it's going to really snow a little bit. Nothing that would stop traffic or anything. That never happened. But, so we played outside in the snow a little bit, but then we stayed in and we're waiting for it to be 3:30 until the metro came. When it got to be 3:30, then, no, I'm waiting for the news to come out. I want to hear the news. When it got to be 3:30, then, we looked outside and it was really snowing hard, and we called up Nesher and they said they're not coming. They're not going to come to the snow. So, Joy was getting a little bit of trouble. She didn't know what to do. We kept calling Nesher and finding out, well, when are you going to be ready in an hour? So you come in an hour, so make it. Just a minute. Do you recognize this? Turning it off.
Complain.
I just wanted to hear the news. Nothing exciting. Anyway, so what was I telling you? Oh, I was just telling you how so anyway, what happened was we ended up staying up all night anyway, even though we couldn't get to the airport. But I had to stay up all night because Joy was she was getting, she was nervous and everything. So I was staying up all night making phone calls, finding out what to do. Couldn't get to the airport. She couldn't make a flight. Flights were taking off from Tel Aviv, because there the weather was nice. This is in Lirshalayim that was stranded. No one could get in or out. So what we had to do finally is she canceled her flight. She made it for the exact same time the next day. Fine. So the next, by that time it was morning. Then I didn't get any sleep that night. And the next day we sort of fooled around and, wasted time. And then, till about maybe 11, 12, and we started wondering, well, how is she going to get to the airport again? The road situation didn't seem to be any better, and it was still snowing. So it was really gorgeous, though. The whole city was, I'm telling you, it was beautiful. It was white. They say Yerushalayim shel zahav, we're full of gold, and this time it was covered in a blanket of white. I know that sounds so corny, but it was so pretty. Anyway, and the kids were going crazy, Israeli kids. Never saw snow before. I mean, some of them have, or they have a little bit, but not like this. They were going absolutely crazy. Everyone, old ladies and old men, and everyone in the whole streets were throwing snowballs and making snowmen, and everywhere you went, families were going for walks. And the typical thing is like, Israeli families going for walks in the snow with an umbrella. And although it just struck me so funny that, and all the wind and the sleet and everything, and the snow, and they're carrying an umbrella. Anyways, like, there's families all going for walks. Of course, the first thing that stopped were the bus transportation. And so it was impossible to get anywhere. I was stranded in her cousin's apartment. I couldn't go to class. Turned out we didn't have school that day. But I didn't know that. Anyway, then we started wondering, how was Joy going to get to Lud again? Because there was no bus, and Nesher still wasn't going, the cab, and there was no cabs going, and there was no way for her to go. There was a train, but there was no way for her to get to the train station, because there were no cabs, no buses, and it was too far to walk. So we didn't know what to do. I was thinking, I was already tired. I thought, just cancel it again, and you'll go the next day. And then you'll for sure have the cab, and you won't have to worry. Obviously, there are no cabs. It means it's not the best condition to drive. So there's no, why take any chances? You'll go tomorrow. So one more day. She'd already called home, and they knew not to expect her. So that's what I thought she would do. Because she was very nervous at first. And this one now, we've been talking about it for a long time. It was already getting dark and cold out. And so her cousin. It was me and her cousin and Joy. Her cousin said, listen, Joy, you have to make up your mind. What we can do, there's one other alternative. You can go out to the top of the main bus station near where she is, and we can see what we can find there. Maybe there'll be someone open the train.
But we couldn't make it because we arrive at 8:30.
And we'll get to Lud,
7:30.
and then you can go tonight. Or else, or maybe we can get at least as far as Ramla, and then from there get a cab. Or else you have to go tomorrow. So Joy said, I want to go today if I can. So, wait a minute, it's making me nervous because I know the tape's going to end. But anyway, so that's what I did not want to, I thought it was the worst idea. The last thing I wanted to do was to go outside. It was so nice, it wasn't even nice and warm in the apartment because there was a blackout just at that time. I guess power lines were fallen and there was no heat and no electricity, but it wasn't so cold. And to go out in the sleet and it was freezing and I didn't have my warm boots and I didn't want to go. But Joy couldn't carry the suitcases herself. And so when the majority said we'll go, so I said okay. We went to the Tachana Mekazi. And there were no buses to Tel Aviv. And there was no transportation to Tel Aviv, so I thought good. Now we'll go back and we'll just go to sleep. But just then this cab pulls up and her cousin runs and asks the cab, will you take us to Lud? And he said, Matitom, what? Of course not. I'm not going to go to Lud. I just risked my life. See, I bought milk. I went to Snuva and I bought milk for my children and wife, and they're waiting for me. And they're waiting for me in this cold weather, and I have to bring them milk. So Carol says, how much do you want? So he said, 80 pounds, get it. So we said, well, what about your wife and kids? He said, no, my wife understands. She knows what it is to be the wife of a cab driver. 80 pounds is very cheap for transportation up and back for 3 people. It really is. He could have charged us much more. And as it was, Joy paid for it all anyway, because he said he would charge the same thing for one as for 3. So it was reasonable. So it was the funniest thing, though, that he had milk for his wife and kids, but that's an important fact, so you have to keep it in mind. Then when we were going, so the roads were not bad at all. I don't know why they're making such a big thing. But Carol was telling him, you better be careful how you drive. Watch how you drive. You haven't had much experience in the snow. He got so mad. He said, no experience in the snow? What are you talking about? And 5 years ago I came to Israel. I'm an Oleh Chadash, and I came from Grozia. And I know what snow is. You don't know what snow is. I know what snow is. Oh, it was the funniest thing. It was so funny. He was such a character. And now the tape's going to run out, and then I'll start on the other side. Okay. Anyway, so we went to Lud, and it was very nice ride because the roads were not bad. I'm telling you, it was beautiful. I was so glad that we went to the end because this way Joy was going to get to the airport, and it was so pretty outside. It was dark, but you could see anyway, and all the mountains all around Yerushalayim were all covered with snow. It was so beautiful, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime sight, and it was really nice. And the cab was warm. It was warmer than the apartment. So I was perfectly content, and I thought it was good. It did turn out for the best. I was wrong. It was better that we did it this way. So good. That we're going to get to Lud, and Joy will get there okay. And as it was, we got to Lud, I guess, about 7 or 8, and we left Joy there. I didn't stay with her all night, even though like my original plan was to stay, because I wasn't sure how I'd ever get back to Jerusalem after that, and she understood she could stay by herself. The important thing is that she was there, and we had to come with her to help her with her suitcases, because she's not allowed to carry heavy things. And just to come, as long as it was the same price, so we went. And he was going to take us back to Jerusalem. He had to get back to his wife and give us the milk, remember? Okay. So, it was about 8. We left her off and we were on our way back. And to come back, so we picked up this old lady who just come from New York, wearing a big coat or something, and her husband Arnold, and her son-in-law. And her son-in-law was Israeli. So we knew English also, but he told us in Hebrew. He didn't want to alarm her. But he told us in Hebrew that he heard on the radio that they're closing the road to Yerushalayim. In other words, no one's going to be allowed to get into Yerushalayim. They're going to stop all traffic in Yerushalayim after a certain time, I think 7 o'clock. And you have to stay until evening. You can't come to Yerushalayim because they're afraid for the name of the road. The thing is, they're so inexperienced here when it comes to snow. It's so funny. They don't know anything about it. And they don't know that the roads are so much worse driving on when it rains hard. Sometimes, I mean, like, they weren't consistent. If they closed the road for this, the road was completely solid and clear. They just know that snow is dangerous, so they better close the road. I don't know. It's pretty stupid, because the road was fine. Anyway, so that's what he told us, and we didn't know, and we were worried, and our driver said, no matter what, I'll get through. You leave it to me. Don't worry. We'll get through. So I didn't care. I was falling asleep. I just wanted to get back. I didn't care. I just wanted to get back to Yerushalayim. So we're traveling along, and we're about half hour out of Yerushalayim. Just when it starts to get real windy and mountains, at this place called Shahar Hagai. And sure enough, he gets stopped. A policeman stops him. And, he says, no, you can't go on anymore. So, our cab driver starts crying. But I have to get back to Yerushalayim. See, I've milk for my wife and my children. And they're waiting for me, and my kids are sick, and I went all the way to buy the milk, and I have to get back, and now I have tourists, and she just came from America, and all this. It was the funniest thing. And, the policeman was stubborn, such an upshot, he wouldn't let us through. And we weren't the only ones. There was a whole bus full of people, and a few other cars, and there was an army masai, an army, one of those, looks like a covered wagon, open trucks, full of 25 Hayalim, soldiers. And the policeman said, no, I'm not letting you through. And there were cars that were coming from Yerushalayim. They said, no, the road is not bad. It's easy driving. It's fine. He said, no, I'm still not letting you through. So we said, call Yerushalayim. So we called Yerushalayim. And even in Yerushalayim, they said, no, it's not so bad. Use your judgment. So he said, just because everyone's giving me a hard time, no. And he smiled. So I'm not letting you through. It was so disgusting. Everyone had to get to Yerushalayim, and he wouldn't let anyone through. And we felt like, like getting up this thing, kidnapping them, and then going through. It was so ridiculous, but he wouldn't let. So I didn't care. At that point, when I heard that, I just wanted to stay in the warm cab. I didn't care. So we go back to television, Layla. I'll go to the green walls. I'll find something. I don't care. I mean, it's not the worst thing. I didn't really care anymore. But all I knew was, the last thing I wanted to do in the whole world was get out of that cab. Outside it was sleeting and cold and hailing and freezing, and in the middle of nowhere and windy, and inside it was warm and it was comfortable, and I was half asleep. Carol says, she was excited today. She says, oh, this is great. Isn't this exciting? This is the greatest thing. Oh my, how much fun. And then she's, oh, gotta see what's going on. Gotta see what's going on. She's one of these, she's absolutely crazy, this girl. So she goes out. She goes outside. She looks around. She sees what's going on. Poke her nose everywhere. So she hears the army truck. She hears them say that even if the chauffeur doesn't let them through, the policemen, they're going to get through anyway. Because they came all the way from I don't know where to go to Yerushalayim they're going to get through. They'll think of something. So when she heard them say that, she also was very anxious to get back to Yerushalayim. She asked them if she could tramp with them. Go with them in the Mustang. They said, sure. She comes back. She told me, come on, we're tramping with Army with the Mustang. And I said, oh no, I don't want to. I don't want to get off. Army Mustang is open. It's cold. No, we decided we're going to stick together. Okay, I said, okay, so I'll stop it for half an hour, but I'll get back to Yerushalayim. I didn't know how they were going to break through and get there, but okay. So we went, getting on the Army Mustang was a riot. I was wearing my tightest skirt. I couldn't move my legs. I had trouble climbing steps in this skirt. Much less climbing on some Army Mustang. I could not do it. For the life of me, I couldn't get on that truck. I was so embarrassed. One soldier took one arm, and another soldier took another arm, and they literally dragged me into the truck. My stomach was almost moved. I was scraped over the rim. I fell into the Mustang. Everyone was laughing. I was so embarrassed and cold, and I just sat down, all squished with all these soldiers, and they tricked the policeman. But they didn't trick him to get through on the main road to Yerushalayim and Tel Aviv, which they closed. They tricked him. They pretend like they were turning around, but really they went straight a little bit, but then they turned off, and they went this other way, because the policeman was coming after them. They went this other way. Now, the road that we took to get back to Yerushalayim, I'm telling you, I am not kidding, was the scariest thing I've ever seen. On my Hanukkah, the one I told you about going to the cave, I don't remember if I described the road that we took to get to that. The road is a back road. It goes by Hadassah and Ein Karak, which is in the mountains. It's like, it goes by Eitamim. It's this winding road which goes along the side of the mountains, on top of the mountains. It's completely full of nothing except rocks and cliffs and turns. And even then, when we went on Hanukkah, there were places where we couldn't just turn. Where the Mustang couldn't just turn. It had to go into reverse a few times first to make it around the bend. They were so sharp. That road, I'm not kidding, and it had not been traveled on. No. You should go. Who's going to go on that road when they can use the main street? And if they close the main road, this road, I'm telling you, I don't know how the driver saw where the road was, except that I knew where it wasn't, because besides road, there was only cliffs. I'm telling you, it was the scariest thing in the whole world. When I realized that that's the road we were going on, I was dying! It was so... Besides the fact that, it wouldn't have been so bad except for the truck was open so you could see. If I didn't see, and I didn't know, and a few times, snow tires they don't have in Israel, and it was ice! I said, bderech, the prayer that you say, I said it at least 20,000 times. I'm not kidding. I already summed up my life and all this. It was so funny, and everyone was scared. No one thought we were going to make it. No one expected to have to crash or anything, or to turn over, but no one thought that we were going to make it. They thought we were going to get stuck. We passed so many things that had gotten stuck, like cars that I guess not near the beginning of the road, not too far into the road, because they all got stuck in the beginning or abandoned or tried to turn around. And we kept going. And I thought, oh no, spending the night with 25 soldiers in the middle of nowhere. I was already, my mood was not, I don't know, but it was so exciting. We went anyway, somehow, about 4 hours later, we made it. We were pulled into Yerushalayim. I was never so happy to come to Yerushalayim. They let us off in the middle of the town, and we had to walk back to here at Moshe, where her cousin lived. So that's also a good walk. It was freezing. Anyway, it was pretty exciting. Oh, and the army Mustang, they had this political discussion, and they, of course, had to talk about religion when they found out we were religious. And then they had this huge discussion about Olim and how many rights they get and how it's not fair, and about the Russians, and about, I don't know what we didn't talk about. And we sang, and I don't know, it was pretty nice. Anyway, we got back real late Monday night. I assume Joy got off okay because she was going to call and she didn't call. And so, recognized her Sunday night. Tuesday already there was transportation. There was bus transportation. Selected buses, but my bus came. So I went home Tuesday. I went to one class, but I was falling off my feet. I was so tired. It was Monday. We got back very, very late, and then we told everyone the story. No one could believe it. And I had to get up early. So I just came back here, and that's when I got my videotape on Tuesday. I listened to the tape, and I just slept the whole day through and the whole night through. And half of Wednesday also I didn't go to some classes. So, anyway, so then I was back to normal. Anyway, that was so exciting. I didn't describe it well. I'm losing my touch. I wanted you to really feel how it was. It was really something. But now that it's over, I can laugh about it and everything. And what an experience, with Saeed and Shrimping and our Nahag. I wonder if he ever got through our cab driver. We just sort of abandoned him in the middle. But I'm telling you, it was beautiful. The whole city was so pretty. And it was fun to have snow. Of course, now you would never know in 1,000 years of big snow. It's warm outside. It's described. It was blue. There's that one cloud. And look out the window now. It's really something. But then, like this is hard to imagine. This 2 days ago, it was covered, really in the rest covered. And in Baipagan, I wasn't in Baipagan because I was in Giv'at Moshe. But in Baipagan, it was even neater because here it's so windy that there were so many snowdrifts. It was really pretty. Every single house had a snowman with complete scarf and raisins and carrots because they got so excited in the Israelis. It was a once-in-a-lifetime chance to build snowmen and everything, so they really went to town. Anyway, that was my crazy week. And did you hear about the snow? In America? I was wondering whether you would hear about it or not. Anyway, I gave Joyce a letter to give to you. It's not such a good letter, but I just wanted to take advantage of the fact that, that she would see you so soon. And, of course, personal regards is always good. And I gave her some pictures. I forgot. I haven't been taking so many pictures this year because what's there to take of? I mean, last year everything was new, so I took of everything. And this year it's like, I took everything last year, and I'm not going on as many Israeli. So, but I took of Machane Yehuda, where my lady lives that I go to. I wonder how she is through the snow. I think I'm going to go visit her today when I'm done with the tape before I go to Kobe. Let me see. If the pictures come out nice, send them back. And, I'm so shocked to hear that Aunt Lil is coming. I can't believe it. She'll be here in a month. That's really, really nice. So she's not coming with Uncle Cindy. She's coming by herself. And she's coming for 40 days. If you're going to send anything, I guess material is the most convenient right now. Because I don't have winter clothes for Shabbos. That was my problem before. The dress that I made, I don't know, it's not good. I don't have anything. I have one dress that I bought here, and I wear it every single week. And matzav, it's a desperate matzav. Matzav means situation.
Hello, it's much later now. And naturally, what happened was I finished this whole tape, and I wanted to send it to you. And didn't occur just by chance. I wanted to listen over to the last part, and I turned it back, and something happened with the batteries, or I don't know what. And the transformer doesn't work or anything. And my whole voice go all distorted, all creepy. You can probably hear it at the beginning of this tape also. I hope it's working now. No, I put it off. I was so disgusted and I was late and I had to go. I put it off and then I went. And time passed and I thought I'd say the rest of the tape to tell you that like fuel to Tina. Today is, I'm eating as usual. Today is Tuesday, February, I don't know, 5th or something like that. And 5th or 6th or 4th. It's Tuesday evening. And I have a whole lot of work to do because I have 3 tests this week. But we got back, we went on the tour last week. In other words, last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday we were in Tina. I told you all about it last tape, and how great it was, and how gorgeous and all that. Not last tape, I mean last year. But this year we went on pretty much the same masul, it's called the same, they don't have so many roads built up in Sinai that you can go in so many different places. It was pretty much the same thing. Except when we had, last year I went 3 days, and this year I went 4. So the extra day was we went to a place called Santa Caterina. I have to explain. Imagine Sinai like a triangle with a point on the bottom. We went around the left edge, our way of going was like around the left edge of the triangle, You come across and you go down to the point in the bottom is Sharm el-Sheikh. About halfway down is a city called Bdech. We were in Bdech the first night. No. In the bottom is Sharm el-Sheikh, and then the other corner, the tip on the right hand side, that's Eilat. And in the middle of the triangle, smack in the middle, like the center of the triangle, it's called Santa Caterina. And that's a really rough picture. We went the first day to Bdech. The second day was to Santa Caterina, slept there. Third day we came back. We went to Sharm el-Sheikh, sort of cut across the triangle. And the fourth day, we spent going all the way back towards Eilat, and then from Eilat back to Yerushalayim. That was our outline. Going was, and I'm not so much in the mood to sit and describe it and everything, because all I've been talking about it was really beautiful, really gorgeous, and I took 1,001 pictures, which I'm sending off tomorrow, so you'll be able to see them all soon, and you'll really see how gorgeous it was. Really, really pretty. I'm going to ask you to please send back the pictures as soon as you can, so I can see them, because I want them back. And if they're good, send them back with the negatives too. If they're good, I can get copies made for other people, because I took a lot of, my friends and stuff. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. We left very early in the morning. It's a lot of riding. Most of this kind of fuel is on the bus. We climbed mountains here and there, whatever. And we went to Bdech and we slept there. Had a great time. We all got together and we were singing. Rav Kuberman has this thing that every place you go to, you have to mikadesh the place. Oh, wait a second. Anyway, like I was saying, Rav Kuberman likes to mikadesh. I don't know exactly what that means in English. I don't know, it's like Nicola has to put their stamp on every place that we go to. So how do we do it? We do it by singing. I can't explain it. And on Bdech, at night, we all sat around, and there's certain Nicola songs. We can make a record. There's about like 10 songs or something. We sang, you should see, it was like 170 girls. We sang like the chorus. I felt like the Von Trapp family singers or something. Everywhere we go, we sing. We're great, I have to admit, we're fantastic. We start right on time, and we don't just sing looking songs, we sing complicated harmonies and long niganim and all this stuff. It's really good. So that's what we did. And then, I don't know, we went to bed and got up the next day. We spent the whole next day going to Santa Caterina, which they don't have a road to. It's wading through the sand and the rock. And the whole way it was like a milkshake. I got there and I felt it was the hardest ride. Okay, fine. First of all, it was freezing there. It was freezing, and it was all rock and all brown. That's why you saw brown in the blue sky, and it was getting dark. And we thought we were going to have to sleep outside, because that's part of the plan was that we were going to sleep outside there. I'm telling you, it was cold. It was freezing cold, and windy like anything. And we were at this monastery. It was the creepiest thing. And Ellie told me before we left, he told me that there's this room in the monastery with skulls. I know, it's true. I mean, he wasn't kidding. He told me that he thought that they have like whole skeletons. What they do is they broke the skeletons down, so they have like different piles in the room. The pile of the right shoulder bones, the pile of the left ankle, and all the skulls in another pile. Yeah. Anyway, that's a creepy thing with me, and all the monks are there, and they told us that, and it's completely isolated. It's just like, it's a icky thing. And they said that there's a monastery that for our luck, to our surprise, the beds, there was supposed to be an Eged tour that was supposed to be sleeping there, but they didn't show up, so that we could use the bed. And my Kuberman said that we could use the bed, it has sheets and everything on it, but if we want to be careful with our cleanliness, that he suggests that we sleep on the floor in our sleeping bags for fear of bed bugs, or rice, or mice, or rats, or I don't know. So you can imagine how lovely it was. It was so yucky. Yeah, and the light bulbs, and the wind is roaring through, and there are cats all over, crawling in and out, and the windows don't stay shut, and it was horrible. So we had to go to sleep very early because we got up at 3 in the morning. Why? what's so good about Santa Caterina? It's next to this really, I know, it's next to this really high mountain, really tall mountain that you'll see in the pictures, which according to the Christian tradition is Har Sinai, Mount Sinai. But they don't think it really can be that one because of all kinds. If you read in the Bible, it's not possible they could have made it there in 3 days and all this business. But anyway, it's nice, and on top, through the years, it's become tradition that that's Har Sinai. It is so tall. It's complete rock and sand and nothingness, and we were going to climb it. So 3 o'clock in the morning, we all got up, and by 4 we were all ready to leave. Let's tell you, my impressions of this view are climbing and bathrooms. There was one bathroom in Santa Caterina. There were three stalls. One for men, one for women, and one for Arabic. I don't know what it said on it. 170 girls had to use 3 bathrooms, which in Israel you can't put paper in the toilets because they break down, and certain old ones. And of course, all 3 of them overflowed, and we were just about dying. Anyway, so we got all together and everything. It was 4, and we climbed up this mountain in one long chain, single file. You had to be completely quiet. We had, I felt like I was in the army or something, There was this whole system of how to, if somebody would get hurt, how to reach the doctor. There was one doctor on one end of the line and one on the other end of the line. And the whole business. We climbed and climbed and climbed. It was freezing. It was so cold. I was wearing 8 layers. And, I was cold. While walking, we saw this sunrise. We saw, the sky getting lighter and lighter. I'm telling you, we were getting into heaven. We were walk and walk and walk. 3 hours we climbed. It was beautiful. I don't have to tell you how gorgeous everything was because you'll see in the pictures. I couldn't take so many pictures because when we got to a certain point already, we were so high up and it was so cold. Oh, there was snow around. It was so cold and I was so out of breath and so tired and so just dying that I just didn't have the energy to whip out my camera. Just a minute, when I think, so we climbed now. We got to this one point, we were getting into the top of the mountain, we were just climbing steps. Someone in Byzantine time or something made steps. We climbed and climbed and climbed, and the wind was so strong, I was almost blown off the mountain. Toby and I were holding hands, everyone was holding hands so that we wouldn't be blown away. But we fell off. But Roxy, right? We were climbing, and some people collapsed, some people couldn't make it. It was so cold, it was really hard. We got to the top. There was no satisfaction getting to the top. First of all, we were at the very end. That's the way they set us up, because for every other thing we were first. So they made our bus go last. There were 4 buses of girls. Oh, I'm not explaining well. And we got to the top. We wanted just to go down. We just wanted to get out of there. And our Madrich began started telling us how hard, it's even harder going down, and all this, I don't know what he was trying to prove. And it was so cold, I couldn't even see very well because my eyes were watering. We started to climb down. Going down, we didn't go the same way we went up. Going down, we went down steps. There were over 3,000 steps. When we got to the bottom, I couldn't even stand still. I stand and my feet trembled. I thought they were going to buckle under. It was the funniest feeling. Somehow we made it down, and we got down, it was about a little after 10. And the whole rest of the day we spent riding, and we were supposed to get to Sharm el-Sheikh, right? And spend time in Sharm el-Sheikh. Like last year, I told you we got there in the afternoon, and we went swimming, we played in the glass bottom boat, we played ball and all this stuff. What happened? 3 out of the 4 buses get stuck in the sand. They get, they got sunk in the sand. I forgot the word in English. And we had to wait for ages until someone from Abu Dhabi would come and get them out or something. I don't really know what happened. Why? Because I was on the bus that didn't get sunk in the sand, which meant that we didn't even have any of the excitement or fun of being sunk in the sand with all the other kids. We were stuck in some road somewhere, barren, completely nothingness, waiting for the other 3 buses. But we really had a really great time because there's some girl on our bus who was a real comedian. And she entertained us the whole time, and we all got up. It was like a talent show. Kids sang, kids played the flute, we had jokes, we wrote things, we went outside and sang, what, Sisi? No, Kutsi. And it was really fun. We got to Sharm el-Sheikh late at night, and we slept in these little, and again we had the Mikdash, and we sang, it was fantastic. And we slept in these little trailers. Last year we slept on the beach, but this year they had us in these little trailer-like things. But my trailer was right on, it was like a whole colony, but mine was right on the outside, and where I slept was right next to a window, so like I just turn my head and look out the window, and I had a perfect view of the beach and the whole thing. And I stayed up all night looking out the window, and I saw the sunrise. And I'm talking fast now because the tape is going to end soon, which is just as well, because I'm almost done with the teal. And we spent the night in Sharm el-Sheikh and got up real early and diving with the sunrise and everything on the beach, and it's really pretty. And when we came home, back through a lot, and we laughed. Of course, we had to sing to Mikdash the place. And we got back to Jerusalem very late at night. And this whole week was so beautiful, fantastic. We got back very, very late, and Toby and I, we decided we were going to go back to her house rather than sleep here, because we just wanted to take a hot bath, and all the girls in the apartment came back, and everyone was fighting for the bath. We decided we'll go to the Hurwitz, and we'll just do the two of us, and we'll go to sleep in a nice, clean, comfortable bed and all this. We got to the Toby's very late, about 12. There was no hot water. Everything was wrong with the boil-up water. But then I spent Shabbos there, and Ellie was home, and he never come home for Shabbos, but the new crab, by coincidence, he was home. So I had an excellent Shabbos, and it was very fantastic. And I'm sorry about this tape is being so blunt. But what I wanted to tell you is, I've been thinking for a real long time, and this is a change of subject completely, but I have to talk fast. And this is what I told you in the tape before it was erased, so it's going to sound stilted because I said it already. But I have a good idea. I mean, I think, wait a minute, I'm not even talking to you. Mom and Dad, I'm not talking to you. If anyone else is listening to this tape, Uncle Sidney or Aunt Betty or Uncle Teddy or Brian or Stanley or anyone else, this is what I want. I said, don't you think it would be a good idea if Mom and Dad would come to Israel in the summer or Rosh Hashanah time? Don't you think that would be the best thing? And I know that Daddy can get off work because he always does, and I think you should think about coming here around that time. And I'll write you more about it later. And make reservations now, and you should come to Israel. See now you have to see, and all these places. And I'll see Aunt Lil in a few days. And I'm just running my head off because I'm terrified that the tape is going to run out. But I really think it would be a nice thing, because that's the best time of year to come, at the end of this summer, and it's so beautiful here. And the Hurwitz has already have a standing invitation for you there for Rosh Hashanah, and to be able to go to all these places. And you say you want to come all the time, so you should come already. And you deserve a vacation. And think about it. But I'm not talking to you, Mom and Dad. I'm talking to everyone else. So if you work from that end and I work from this end, when we start the campaign officially now, then we can get them to come, okay? But you have to work really hard, because you know Daddy, he'll never get around to doing it. So be firm about it and get to work. And what else did I want to tell you? I'm really excited that Lil's coming, and I'll look into all those things that you wrote me about Uncle Sidney and all this business. And everyone here is fine, and Yosef's fine, and I hope to see him pretty soon, but I have a lot of tests this week. And I wish the tape would end, because I'm going to get an ulcer from staring at it. And let me see what else. Good luck to Henry, and my roommate sends you guys. And I hope everything's okay with his operation and everything. And hurry and take back. And I got the Yasha Heifetz tape. Thank you very much. It's really beautiful. And I'm sure this tape must be over now. But if I get cut off in the middle, then right back soon and come to Israel and be healthy, and regards to everyone. And I guess that's about it. I got another package in the mail today. I don't know what it is. I guess it's my old clothes, and I'm glad I got it already. I'm not saying anymore. This is ridiculous. Okay, I've got to go study, and the tape has to be over now. It must be over now. Bye!